is CTV News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. After years of construction delays and plenty of speculation, tonight it appears the wait to cross the Gordie Howe International Bridge may finally be coming to an end. Reports suggest this time next week, drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians could already be using the new crossing. For more on what we're hearing tonight, we're joined by CTV's Robert Lothian. Robert, this is not officially confirmed yet, but it sounds like things are moving quickly.
Yeah, Travis, the Gordie Howe International Bridge will open next Monday. That's according to a Detroit news outlet. Officials are expected to meet later this week to cut the ribbon on the $6.4 billion span. It's a long time coming, especially for those who have advocated for the bridge since the beginning. After 8 years of construction, the Gordie Howe International Bridge could open to traffic on Monday. The Detroit News, citing multiple sources, is reporting Canadians and Americans alike could begin making trips early next week. This Friday, the Canadian press is reporting officials will gather to cut the ribbon.
There's speculation more on the Monday opening, but the Friday seems to be the real intent for the ribbon cutting, and Monday would be for the public.
Former Windsor West MP Brian Massey says he's received confirmation of a planned ceremony. Spending years fighting to make the bridge a reality, he says the opening is long overdue.
I'm past it. I mean, really just right now, the best interest for everybody is to open it, not only just for our local community, but for the country and also for the United States.
CTV News has reached out to officials at all levels of Canadian government, but so far there's been no confirmation of an opening date. Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins saying an invitation hasn't made its way to his office.
I'm hopeful that if we get to a point in time where we find a pathway forward with a new trade agreement with the United States and Mexico, that it would be the type of event where we'd actually get a ribbon cutting on the middle, where the President and the Prime Minister meet in the middle and we celebrate a binational relationship and the trade agreements that we have in place.
Bridge officials previously saying construction is complete and final testing has lasted several months. Last week, the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary telling a committee they are ready to go.
We have the personnel dedicated, ready to move. The contractor hasn't signed off on final stuff. He had a deadline the 1st of May. He didn't make that deadline, so we're still waiting on that to take place.
So now with the new span built and a finish line finally in sight, Massey says Windsor can now have the bridge that it truly deserves.
Putting up with congestion, traffic, pollution, the consequences of bad urban planning, being ripped off from having to pay for some of this infrastructure for decades upon decades upon decades is all part of this in terms of making our city beautiful, a good place to live, and a good place for our future.
Bridge Authority is sharing the same message it has for months, saying the project is progressing towards a spring opening. Only tonight, there's one small but notable change, with the Bridge Authority now adding details will be shared in the coming days. Travis.
Thank you, Robert. That's CTV's Robert Lothian reporting live for us tonight, and we will, of course, share those details when we do get them. Also tonight, a quiet Harrow street serving as the setting of a police investigation after a neighbor says a woman was found in distress and covered in blood. CTV's Bob Belichico reports.
A heavy police presence this morning in a quiet Harrow neighborhood. OPP blocked off a section of the neighborhood around Murdoch Street and Arthur, asking the community to avoid the area if possible.
We had a report of an individual that had some injuries, so police responded, and as we're at right now, it's still active, so we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
The cordoned off area increased to include a larger section of Murdoch Street. I spoke with a resident earlier today who didn't want to appear on camera, but he did say that he was stepping out of his house at about 4 in the morning to go for a jog when he noticed the woman at the stop sign just down the street. She looked disoriented, was full of blood, and asking for help. Trevor Gagnon says he assisted the woman to the side of the road and sat her down before going back to the house to call for help. He says paramedics and police were quick to respond. Another neighbor described to CTV News seeing what looked like blood found on the side of a white car. OPP began canvassing the neighborhood.
We have in the area of Murdoch Street and I believe Arthur Street as well, so we have officers in the area canvassing. We also have our ident team in the area as well due to the ongoing investigation.
And we don't know how long they're going to be there.
I don't. That'll continue to evolve as time goes on.
OPP say they cannot tie what was found on the car to the person taken to the hospital.
We do know that the individual was transported to hospital to be medically assessed, and from that point on, we'll know more as it evolves.
The identity, extent of injuries, and current status of the patient is unknown as the investigation continues. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
In Sarnia, another senior police officer suspended as the investigation into a harassment complaint against the chief continues. With more, here's CTV's Brian Bicknell.
Deputy Chief Ron Hansen is suspended from his duties along with a civilian member of Sarnia Police. The announcement by the Sarnia Police Service Board follows an investigation which began last month into a workplace harassment complaint against Chief Derek Davis, currently under suspension. That investigation is being conducted by a Toronto law firm.
Well, it's certainly not a vote of confidence in the top administration of the police service or the board.
Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley saying the suspensions do not bode well for public confidence in the police service.
Even though we're responsible to the taxpayers of this community for the police budgets and the spending. That's the real dysfunctional nature of this system.
Ron Hansen was named deputy chief in 2024, hailing from Halton Regional Police. That's where Derek Davis had been hired from 2 years earlier. The board confirms the latest suspensions are related to information that came to light during the investigation into Davis. Bradley suggests it's time Ontario's Inspector General of Policing took a close look at how Sarnia Police is being run.
I would think that they're obviously aware of the situation going on here with the deputy now being suspended. They're aware of the chief being suspended. And to me, they should be coming in and investigating the operation of the board itself, not just looking at the administrative side of things.
In a statement to CTV News, the Inspectorate of Policing says the Inspector General has been actively monitoring the situation and is satisfied the police board has taken appropriate steps to ensure the allegations are being investigated while maintaining the stability of the service. The board points out suspensions are not findings of misconduct, and it's taking steps to ensure the integrity of the investigation. In the meantime, Interim Chief Mike Federico assumes the day-to-day leadership of the police service during the investigation. He takes over from Acting Chief Mike Van Sickle. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A heated debate over funding for the Welcome Center shelter for women and families never got off the ground at Windsor City Council today, as Council voted to delay discussion of a request for about $192,000. CTV's Sanjay Maru has the details.
What we did today is we chose the easy way out.
Councillor,
Your Worship, I'm not done. You can respond. You can respond.
No, I'm the chair.
Let me have my time.
I will, and I'm the chair.
This is about 10 seconds from a nearly 30-minute discussion over a motion filed by Councillor Kieran McKenzie to consider one-time funding for the Welcome Center shelter for women and families. But a counter-motion by Joanne Geniac to defer the discussion to a later date was passed. Geniac saying she had only seen the detailed motion this past Friday.
I have not heard that women and children were being left on the street. So my request to refer back to administration is to get the full picture.
The city says it reviews capacity across the entire shelter system daily and that its numbers show there is enough space and no one needs to sleep outside. But the head of the Welcome Center says an open bed somewhere else in the system isn't the same as a safe or appropriate bed for women and children in crisis.
We had capacity over this weekend, and yet the Welcome Center did 44 turn-away calls. This isn't about choosing the Comfort Inn versus the Hampton Suites. This is about really making a choice for your safety and what level of supports that you and your family need.
McKenzie says council could have heard from the delegates who signed up to speak before deciding whether to defer the discussion. Many of them, he adds, had taken time off work to be in council chambers Monday.
The fact that we didn't even want to have the debate, have the discussion, listen to delegates, to me was extremely disappointing. When we meet at 10 on a Monday and you have a gallery packed on an issue, we need to be extremely mindful as to whether or not we should allow for that conversation to proceed.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins, who says the city has to look at the shelter system as a whole, not just one facility, maintains the request for funding should have been brought up during budget deliberations.
I appreciate and certainly the strong advocacy that Lady Lafayette has for her shelter and selling her shelter. If this was a case where we had women and children on the street, it would be an entirely different conversation. That's not the case.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Meanwhile, Windsor City Council is throwing its support behind a new transitional housing project for women and children fleeing violence. Hiatus House plans to build a 40-unit facility across from its current shelter. The building would offer longer-term housing and support services for up to 2 years. Construction is expected to begin in late 2026, with the project targeting a 2028 opening. The city has already provided support through environmental remediation and a development charge exemption.
The city is heavily invested in this shelter, and it's interesting that we're having this discussion today at the same time where City Council also unanimously approved moving forward with support for Hiatus House and transitional housing, where I think, humbly, my own opinion is that's a far better place to put money in transitional housing.
A Windsor Essex family is mourning the loss of a loved one after a search on Lake St. Clair this weekend ended with the recovery of a missing boater. CTV's Chris Campbell has more.
The search for 38-year-old Red Banam Udesh came to a sad conclusion Sunday afternoon when the OPP underwater recovery team located his body in the waters of Lake St. Clair. His cousin, Afzaal Udesh, tells CTV News Red was the best man at his wedding and a man whose kindness left a lasting impression on everyone he met. He said Red was one of that type of person. If you meet him once, he will impact something in you that you will never forget. He was always happy and would never stop helping anyone who needed it. Udesh says family members watched as crews searched throughout the night. Specialized underwater teams were not able to arrive until Sunday afternoon. Marine Guardian Rescue says every minute counts during incidents on the water.
Time is your enemy, so by the time a call goes out and gets through the channels to JRCC and assets get passed out and all that thing, the clock is ticking, and the longer it goes on, the less likely that we're going to find somebody, much less, bring it back.
Former OPP Commissioner and CTV Public Safety Analyst Chris Lewis says recoveries on the Great Lakes, including Lake St. Clair, can be especially difficult because the currents can quickly carry a victim away from where they entered the water. He says while investigators continue their work, tragedies like this serve as an important reminder for boaters to wear life jackets and avoid alcohol on the water.
This is a horrible tragedy. Obviously, any loss of life, young or old, is always very sad and difficult for families. But for boaters to be safe out there, there's many things they can do, because the average boating fatality historically is always related to either alcohol or the lack of life jackets. Or the combination thereof, almost without fail.
And with summer about 2 weeks away, rescue crews are reminding people that Lake St. Clair remains cold enough to quickly become dangerous.
We always want people to have all the proper gear with them out there, and I know that it maybe sounds like a bit of a party pooper to say, wear a PFD when you go out for a swim. It is cold, and if you have a PFD, it greatly increases your chances of staying alive and being found.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
And warmer weather means more motorcycles are back on the road. Our CTV News camera visited a local training course this weekend to see what riders are learning and what drivers should keep in mind.
What we're up to at St. Clair College is we provide motorcycle courses through the graduated system to build confidence, set a solid skill foundation for new or returning riders. Our program is designed for either that novice rider or that experienced rider to come back, provide them, an opportunity in a safe training environment to develop and enhance those skills and build that confidence and skill level back up.
Cornering and turning, I was able to learn a lot more by just going through the drills and whatnot. Being on two wheels, it's a lot different than a car, right? Some people, they don't see bikes, so I rather pay attention to everyone around me rather than thinking that they're going to be paying attention to me.
Is my bike ready? Am I ready? Is my gear ready? That's all I can control. For the motorcyclist, to ensure that, they're sound in their skill set, that they're getting out, and practicing their skills before, they go out onto the roadways. For a motorist, just a gentle reminder that motorcycles are back out on the road, and to look twice and give some space.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, 5 years after a hate-fueled attack shook London, a community is remembering and renewing the fight against hate. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with our first look at the weather tonight. And Gary, we have been blessed with such beautiful weather this past week and this past weekend. I'm not even mad to see a couple rain icons ahead.
Well, that's good. Travis Fortnum is happy, and we'll keep it that way, hopefully, although showers do help with the lawn and gardens, and of course the grass has been parched of late. It has been warm, relatively dry. We've not experienced a significant storm in some time, a good 2 weeks really, at least. 31.4 unofficially today, not a record, but well above seasonal by about 7 degrees Celsius. We're looking at this area of low pressure earlier today, rolling some thunderstorms right through the heart of the Ohio Valley, and now through the overnight, some scattered showers moving through extreme southwestern Ontario. You'll note the flow coming from the south. We always talk about wind patterns, wind profiles from which they emanate. So a southerly flow works its way from south to north. That's warm, moist air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. And it's traveled far, and it still is maintaining form. Still warm, above seasonal temperatures that keep us in the upper 20s, low 30s over the next 4 to 5 days at least. And of course, the spin of low pressure is capitalizing on that energy. Moisture, warm air, and energy lift, right? Producing those clouds that yield showers and thunderstorms. Most of the worst weather will stay stateside. That's good news for us, but there's still a chance in the next 24 to say 30, 36 hours that we will see some activity, especially between midnight and say 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And note the temperature, 20 degrees would only be 4 degrees below a seasonal daytime high. That's the temperature before dawn tomorrow, the lowest temperature, and it'll feel like about 25, 26. It's going to be one of those kinds of nights, really, technically early mornings. And then the breakdown for tomorrow, unsettled to say the least, warm and humid, and 30 degrees could be reached late in the afternoon around say 3:30, 4 o'clock, feeling like 37 to 38 in Windsor, Chatham, Kent following suit, and the surrounds. 30 degrees followed by 31 and 31. That takes us through the midweek with cloudy conditions Wednesday, Thursday. About a 40% chance of seeing showers both days. Friday, potential showers still there, but low, 30%, a high of 28. Feels like about 33. And then Saturday, Sunday, fair but warm, 30 degrees Saturday, showery, cloudy. A slight chance of rain, 27 on Sunday, Monday, 23. And a week from now, as you can see on Monday, we are back to where we would normally be. In fact, slightly below seasonal at that juncture. The next few days are going to be hot, humid, and wet. In terms of rain, we need it. Let's look at your weather.
Thanks, Gary. Premier Doug Ford is taking on tariffs south of the border this week. CTV's Abigail Bimman is in Washington with more.
The Premier's focus here in Washington is what he calls Fortress North America. Doug Ford comes to D.C. with a message that echoes what we saw from federal U.S.-Canada Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc last week. A full renewal of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal will benefit economies on both sides of the border. That deal is up for review July 1st. Ford holds a series of meetings during his 2 days in the capital. His office not sharing much, and they're closed to media, but we know they include auto sector leads, agriculture reps, and a range of businesses. And a source tells CTV News he will meet lawmakers, including some high-ranking members of Congress. Tonight included a reception with Ross Perot Jr., the American billionaire chair of the board at the United States Chamber of Commerce. An industry source tells us the focus there is more broadly Canadian bilateral issues rather than Ontario-specific. And Ford has a history of controversy in U.S.-Canada trade negotiations. After this ad featuring Ronald Reagan in October, President Donald Trump called off talks with Canada. When he was here in Washington, LeBlanc said that freeze is over. He also said he would be speaking with the United States Trade Representative this week. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Meantime, all eyes will be on the Bank of Canada this week. The central bank is expected to hold its key interest rate steady on Wednesday for a fifth straight decision. The benchmark rate has sat at 2.25% since last fall. Policymakers say they're watching global economic uncertainty closely, including the impact of conflict in the Middle East, as Canada navigates its first technical recession since 2010. The TSX gained 65 points today. In New York, the Dow lost 81. The Nasdaq added 220. The Canadian dollar dropped 0.12 of a cent. Gold dropped almost $2 an ounce. Oil added 76 cents a barrel. CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. In London this weekend, a gathering to honor the Afzaal family 5 years after an act of terrorism killed 4 members. CTV's Rita Ismail was there.
A quiet moment of reflection. 5 years after a tragedy that forever changed London. Hundreds gathered at the memorial site to remember the victims and honor what has become known as our London family. On June 6, 2021, Salman Afzaal, Madia Salman, their daughter Yumna, and grandmother Talat were killed when Nathaniel Veltman drove his truck into the family at the intersection of Hyde Park Road and South Carriage Road in London, Ontario. Their young son survived but was seriously injured. The attack was later ruled as an act of terrorism motivated by anti-Muslim hate.
The fact of the matter is, Islamophobia exists daily. It continues. The venom and hate continue, and we need to address it.
Organizers say the anniversary is not only about remembering those who were lost, but ensuring the lessons from that day are never forgotten.
That we stand together, united across faith, across race, across ethnicities, to say that Islamophobia and anti-Muslim bigotry stops here.
In the years since the attack, community groups, educators, and local leaders have worked to confront Islamophobia and strengthen relationships across cultures and faiths.
We developed a whole action plan to combat Islamophobia, and we've worked through a good portion of that plan, recognizing significant anniversaries like this, the 5th year anniversary.
The calls that were made to all politicians from the community, many of them have been met and been responded to. Does that absorb us of hate in our community, in our society? I would say no. I think some of the work that we will continue to hope to see is more of grassroots work that is done amongst families at the dinner table.
You know, the community came together and they advocated very strongly in the wake of the horrible terrorist tragedy that happened to the Afzaal family. And we saw many political leaders come and commit to change, but unfortunately we have not seen legislative change.
The anniversary serves as a reminder of the ongoing work needed to address hate and build safer communities.
There is still work to be done, especially when, for example, you have in Quebec bills like Bill 9 and Bill 21 that prevent people from praying publicly. And even though it's a clear violation of human rights.
As flowers, prayers, and messages of remembrance continue to fill the memorial site, many here say the family may be gone, but they will never be forgotten. Rita Ismail, CTV News, London.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is back with a look at the 7-day forecasting. Gary, there is some rain on the way.
You're right about that. Between now and say 6, 7 in the morning, some of us already up at that point, of course, headed to work, dropping the kids off, going to school. There's a chance of some morning thunderstorms. And we'll note with warm, humid conditions, often we see afternoon, daytime heating type of storms start to pulse, form up, and that's a possibility too. So a 1-2 punch, morning and afternoon. Keep the umbrella nearby. 30 feels like 37 to 38. It is a very late June, early July-like summer day. We're still in spring with 2 weeks left. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, cloudy with a chance of showers. The average temperature between now and Friday is 30. About 6 degrees above seasonal. Saturday, still warm, fair, sunny. Sunday, Monday, cooling off a bit. Showers and then fair. A week from now, coolish. Yeah, will be below seasonal potentially. That won't last very long. Stay cool and dry and hydrated. That's a look at your weather. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. Finally tonight, if you've got a few hours to spare on Wednesday, the LaSalle Strawberry Festival could use a hand getting ready. Thousands of strawberries will need to be cleaned ahead of this year's festival. Organizers say about 300 flats of locally grown berries, roughly 63,000 in all, will need to be prepped for the event. Volunteers are being asked to help wash and hull the fruit Wednesday evening at LaSalle Landing. Last year alone, more than 5,400 servings of strawberries and ice cream were handed out. That's our time for tonight. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.